All right, guys, welcome back. My name is Efrosyni. Welcome back, and thank you for joining us back. We're literally about to get started with a getting started. So, firstly, congratulations for taking the decision in order to join our Seacret family. My job is over the next few minutes is literally just take you through the first few steps that you should be doing when you get your business off to the right start so you can make a return on your investment starting from tonight. If you don't have a piece of paper and a pen, I highly recommend that you get one. Get rid of any distractions while you're actually watching this, because if you're not present, then you may miss the things that you need to in order to maximize the impact of this phenomenal business. So let me just share these. Uno momento. Okay, here we go. So firstly, now if you've done this before, and let's say you're watching this again for whatever reason, feel free to do it again as well, because repetition is the mother of all learning. The more you repeat something, the more you learn it. And once you learn it, then it's also easier to teach it. Now, when you first get started with Seacret, the main thing is you gotta understand the Seacret is a vehicle. It can drive you anywhere you want to go. You can literally drive and have super big goals that you can realize, or maybe you want to drive it little bit by little bit, to the next destination. Once you get to your next destination, then see how you can go further from there. But the first thing that you need to identify is what that destination is and what that looks like. So let's start step by step, okay? In your first 4 weeks, what do you want to achieve? In your first 4 weeks, what do you want to achieve? Do you want to make your money back? Do you want to do that in your first week? Do you want to do that in your first 4 weeks? Hang on a second. Guys, so I didn't realize some of you wanted translation as well. So Elisa, I am really sorry, it's difficult to turn into Italian right now, but what I'll do is I will give you this afterwards so you can translate into Italian afterwards. I will actually enable live translation though, sorry, the live transcript, to make things easier for people. So, first 4 weeks, what do you want to achieve? Do you want to make your money back in your first 4 weeks? Do you want to make your money back in your first week? I'll tell you the thing my mentor said to me when I first got started in this profession. He said, you got one first week, one first month, one first year. Build a powerful story because you're going to have this for the rest of your life. Didn't fully understand what he meant at the beginning, but he said this to me. He said to me, the stronger your story is, the more power you will have with your story. So he said, don't sleep till you get 6. Now he meant have a sense of urgency building the story. In my head, I took it literally. I didn't sleep till I got my first 9 sales. I made over $1,000 for my first 24 hours. I still didn't understand how it all worked. All I did was invite a bunch of my friends, put them in front of the information, and I got someone with a bit more experience to help me in order to answer their questions, which we're going to talk about in a second. That's all I did. But here's what happened. When people turn around and ask me later saying, hey, so how's your business going? I had the story to tell them, well, I made my money back in my first 24 hours. I doubled my investment in my first 30 days. I'm like, how you doing? So the thing is, even if you need to go fast, especially for your first few weeks, first few months, in order to build that story, remember, the stronger the story, the more powerful it's going to be, and the more leverage it will help you to have. So, first 4 weeks, what do you want to achieve? First 12 months, what do you want to achieve? Let's say if we were doing a reunion 1 year from now, somewhere cool around the world, and you were able to look back and say, this was the best decision I ever made to join Seacret, what do you want to be celebrating in order for you to feel that? Do you want to be celebrating that you're making an extra $500 a month? Do you want to be celebrating that you're making an extra $1,000 a month? What about $2,000 a month? Here's where more important. Why do you want to achieve it? Because money is money, guys. Money is energy. It just magnifies the person that you are. Money without having a purpose is meaningless. If I said to you, here's $2,000 a month, it has no meaning. But if I tell you, here's the possibility in order to be able to replace your full-time income part-time, what are you going to do with the extra time? Or here's the possibility in order to be able to help your parents retire early, to pay for your kids to go through college. Like, these are now things that now have a lot more meaning, right? So the thing is, it's one thing to know the destination. It's also just as important, if not more important, to know why you want to get there. And here's one thing that you're going to bear in mind with that. It's going to be an action motivator, guys. It's going to be one thing that when you think about achieving, it fires you up that you're willing to lose sleep over it. I know for me, when I first got started in this profession, it was helping my parents retire early. It was helping me get time freedom so I could spend with my nephews. We do things more for the people that we love rather than for ourselves. So what is it going to be for you? Who's the number one person you want to help, impact, help in any sort of way that you're willing to do what's uncomfortable for you, even when you don't feel like it because you want it so bad? So that's the first thing. Second thing is, we got to create a list. Now, the list is almost your fuel, okay? Because your longer the list, the further you're going to go. If you got a short list, you're not going to get very far. I remember when I first got started, I started with a list of 200. Now, some people are like, 200? Well, let me ask you this, right? How many friends you got on Facebook? If you went through your contacts on your phone, how many contacts do you have in your phone? How many do you have on Instagram? The average person has 300 to 500 people just on their Facebook. So the thing is, having a big list is not a problem. Sometimes it's the courage in order to call the people on your list. But the ones that we start with first are the ones that we care about the most and that we're closest to. So you see on the left-hand side, we say start with a list of 30. And it's got an acronym called Frankie. So friends, relatives, acquaintances, neighbors, kids' friends, internet, i.e. social media. So let's say, for example, maybe you're single, okay? You meet the love of your life. You decide to go get engaged. Who's the 5-10 people that you're going to call first to let them know you're getting married? Start with those. Start writing those down. You know, your best friend, your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister. Who else would you call? Who's going to be your best man? Who's going to be your maid of honor? Who can you trust with the ring? Okay? So these are people that you should be writing down. Now, once you start writing these people down, then ask yourself also, like, you know, if you had a look at your phone right now, who's the people that you call the most, like on your recent calls? Who's your closest people in your workplace? So you could take a screenshot of that on, it's called the memory jogger list. You could take a screenshot of that. And of course you can expand on that, but that should help you to trigger at least 5 to 10 names pretty quick. Now, the 6 skills you need to learn in order to become professional. And when I say professional, I'm talking about making a full-time income in Seacret. You need to learn how to prospect people. So identify who the right prospect is. You need to learn how to invite, present, close and enrolling, getting people started, and also promoting. Now, I remember when I first looked at this, I'm like, man, I gotta learn a lot of stuff. But here's one thing that I learned straight away. There's only two things you need to focus on at the beginning. Learn how to invite, because that creates addition to your team. Learn how to promote, because that creates multiplication to your team. And here's what my mentor said to me. If you do nothing else really well, let's say you don't know how to present. Well, you know what's really cool, guys? If you like the presentation, I've just posted it on YouTube. So you can literally sit down with your friends, push play, and watch the presentation with your friends. It's 35 minutes. Or there's a 15-minute video that you can go to coldtosucceed.com, click on presentation. There's a 15-minute video there by my good friend and mentor Jefferson Santos. Does the same presentation, but even shorter in 15 minutes. So you don't even need to be a good presenter to do this. You need to learn how to invite to get people in front of the information, use the tools in order to present to people, and 3, get somebody with a bit more experience than you in order to help you to close. But the most important thing is not how many people you have in your team, but it's how many people you get to the trainings. This is what I learned from my mentor in 2009. He said, people are just numbers, he said, unless they turn into leaders. He goes, if you've got 100 people in your team and you got no leaders, you got yourself a job, he said. If you have 10 leaders in your team, that can help you build a team of thousands. He goes, leaders are born in seminars. So he goes, your job, he said, is you need to show as many people as possible. The right people will get it. Some people, they won't get it straight away. That's cool too, he said. But you show as many people as possible. The more people you get started, that's cool. But the more people you bring to the training, he goes, that's when I can do my job. And my job is to help you to take those people and help you to find and develop your leaders. And your leaders will create the multiplication. And that's what equals to freedom. See, all I did in my first few months, I added about a couple of hundred people into my organization. But because I took a handful of them to a training, that turned into 800 over the next couple of months. And it turned into 5,500 6 months later. So all I've done is over the last 13 years in this profession, I've gone from training to training to training, and always ensure that I got a lot more people at the last training than what I did at the previous training. That's all I've kept my mind on, okay? So I'm giving you that formula to you because, guys, we want to help you succeed. We want to help you create the kind of story that you're proud of, that when you're able to look back, you go, this was the best way in order for me to upgrade my lifestyle. So focus on invitation, focus on promoting. Get people in the system, get them to a training. How do you invite? Okay, I've talked about the training. I'll go to that in a second. How you invite? Well, one thing that I've learned as a formula is the less you say, the more money you make. See, my mentor said to me, if your invitation takes longer than 30 seconds, you've definitely said too much. So what I used to do at the beginning is I used to literally put a timer in front of my computer as I was making my phone calls, and I would just watch the timer. So when I was doing the invitation, my tonality was in a hurry because I'm looking at the timer, right? And I highly recommend you do the same because, well, my first invitation really, was horrible. My first invitation was not 30 seconds, it was 35 minutes. So I did everything wrong. But here's what I realized. You can do things wrong, but as long as you go back and do things right, the results will change. So I'm going to show you how to do things right from the beginning so you can learn from my mistakes. Therefore, you don't need to waste time, energy, and create frustration by doing your own mistakes. So there's different invites that you can use, okay? My favorite invite is what we call the 4-step invite. Step number 1, be in a hurry. Now, always be genuine about this. Don't call your friends saying I'm in a hurry and you're like chilling out on the back of on the couch and watching Netflix, okay? Because that lacks authenticity. So be in a genuine hurry. Create an environment where you're in a genuine hurry. Clear the date. So find out if they're available. We play to win. If we cannot win, we don't play. So if they're available, we'll invite. If they're not available, we will not invite. Simple as that. Be excited, because excitement is contagious, guys. People will follow enthusiasm and excitement. Sometimes people will join just because they'll see that you're excited. I remember my best friend, one of my best friends in Australia, he joined halfway through the video, didn't even finish watching the video. And he threw his credit card at me and he said, I'm in. I'm like, but you haven't even watched the video. He goes, I don't need to watch the video. He said, I've been watching your face and how excited you are watching the video. And I said to myself, if she's this excited about it, it's gotta be good. So it would not have had the same impact if I'm sitting there watching the video like this, waiting for it to finish, right? So always excited. And the thing that gets me excited is that every single presentation that I'm doing, in my mind, I'm one step closer to my goals. That's what you want to think about as well. And the fourth step, confirm the date. So let's say, for example, I'm inviting my good friend Bogdan, okay? This is what the fourth step invite would look like, okay? I'd be calling him, right? And I'd be like, hey, Bogdan, listen, I've only got a quick second, but are you free tomorrow night at 7 o'clock? Now, Bogdan can say, yes, I'm free. Yeah, he gave me a thumbs up. Or he can say, no, I'm busy. If he says I'm free, I'm like, awesome. Listen, meet me at this cafe. Obviously, I'll have a place in mind. At 7 o'clock sharp, I'm super excited. I got some really big news I want to share with you. Do you want me to come and pick you up or you want to meet me there? So he might say, come and pick me up. He might say, meet me there. Either way, it's cool. Now I've got Bogdan coming to the presentation tomorrow at 7. If Bogdan said to me, I'm busy tomorrow, I'd be like, no worries. I'll call you some other time. Now, if I hang up and Bogdan said that he was busy, he's going to be wondering, I wonder what Efrosyni wanted, right? So that's the fourth step invite. Now, if you're a person that normally texts your friends, you can do that as well. I'd be like texting my good friend Bogdan. I'll be like, hey Bogdan, you free tomorrow at 7? ? Wait for him to reply. He's free? Great. Meet me at this and this location tomorrow. Now, me personally, guys, I like to text and call. And the reason I do that is because texting is good to reach more people faster, but you cannot get enthusiasm over a text. So here's what I do. I'll text like 5 of my friends going, hey, you free tomorrow night at 7 or 8 or something? ? The ones that come back to me and say, yes, I'm free, I will call them and go, hey, I'm so excited you're free. Awesome. Meet me at this location. Got some really cool, exciting news that I want to share with you. So now they can hear my enthusiasm through the phone, and I've only invited the people that told me they're already free. Okay? So 4-step invite through a call, 2-step text through a text, or you can do a combination of both. Okay? Now, here's another way to invite, okay? Some people, let's say, for example, the first two are really good with people that you got a very good relationship with. They're what you call the hot market. You know, they know you, they like you, they trust you, you speak to them often. But if, let's say, you're going to call one of your friends from high school, because let's say you've been around the business for a while, you've called all your closest friends, and now you're going to go to some friends that maybe you don't speak to as often, but you know, you still know you if you call them. Then another way is to invite with your why. Now, what that looks like is, let's say, for example, I'm inviting my friend Annabelle, okay? Let's say my why is when I first got started into this profession, I was working 80 to 100 hours a week. I needed a way out so I can basically repay the £500,000 debt that I had hanging over my head. So that's how it would go something like this, okay? So, hey Annabelle, hey, things have been really tough the last few months. And I got this huge debt that I've accumulated because of my real estate business and just working like crazy, working like 80 to 100 hours a week. And I'm just tired of it. And I've been looking for a way in order to change it. And you know what's cool, Annabelle, is I feel that I've found it. I found something that's going to help me not only to get back to being debt free, but more importantly, get my time back. And because you're one of my friends, I would love to sit down and share it with you. Are you free for a coffee tomorrow? So that's another way to invite, where you're kind of leading with your why. Now, leading with your why, the benefit of that is that you're giving them a little bit extra, but I'm still not telling them what the presentation is all about. Now, some people say to me, why aren't we telling them what the presentation is all about? What have we got to hide? And I reply with this. It's very simple. Absolutely nothing to hide. But I don't know what they're going to see. For me, it was freedom. I know that for one of my best friends, it wasn't freedom. It was more about using some really cool products. They weren't even interested in creating freedom. I know for another one of my friends, they just wanted to be part of a really cool community of like-minded people. I got another friend that got plugged in just because they wanted to be plugged into the personal development so they can help to improve themselves. So it's not for me to prejudge what I think my friends are going to see. I prefer to invite them with an open mind, so this way they can see what they need to see rather than what I think they're going to see. Okay? And last but not least, you can also do a launch party, a wow party, a spa party, a modern wine party, so something like that. That's another way of inviting. So let's say you're inviting your friends and you go, hey, look, I'm having a spa party around my house, this Saturday or Sunday, which day works for you. Now, nobody's going to go, hey, what's a spa party? I mean, it's self-explanatory, right? It's a spa party. We're going to try out some really cool products. That might be a way where you're leading with the product. So the essence, guys, is don't get caught up in the wording. More importantly, be yourself and be natural about it, okay? Because your friends don't need to hear you acting weird. Your friends need you to be 100% authentic, just be more excited, and remember that less is more. The less you tell them, the more curious they are, and the more curious they are, the more open the mind will be. So the thing is, that's it in a nutshell. But what I want to do is I want to go back to this because, like I said to you at the beginning, the X factor is the training system. So I'm going to tell you exactly what my mentor said to me. And I'm repeating this because repetition is the mother of all skill. Doesn't matter how many people you have in your team, guys. It matters how many leaders you have in your team. Leaders are born in seminars. So if you haven't already booked the next event, which is boot camp in Montenegro, if you're watching this from Europe right now, first thing you need to do is, number one, go to secretdirectevents.com, click on bootcamp for Montenegro. Right now, there's a discounted price of only $200. Normal price is $300. Not only do you get Marcosetta that I shared in the presentation, this guy's $5,000 an hour for private coaching, minimum 5 hours. That's $25K to spend 5 hours with him. You get a whole weekend with him for $300. Okay? Now, on top of that, Eric Grzybowski, Red Diamond, one of the highest ranks in the company, is also going to be training with him. Eric, multimillionaire through real estate, got started in this amazing industry because he wanted to help people. And now he's more passionate about helping people through this industry, even though he makes enough money from real estate to never work again. That's the power that we have in our industry, that once you learn the power of being able to impact and empower others to become a better version of themselves, and at the same time create a better quality of life, it becomes a passion. So obviously it's going to be difficult for you to promote and get people to this event if you're not booked for yourself. So get booked, okay? And we look forward to seeing you in Montenegro. Now, as I wrap this up, I highly recommend that you take a few minutes right now, and now that the information is fresh in your mind, just take a few minutes and start making some phone calls, because there's never a better time to call people than on a Sunday night. And I'll tell you why. Around this sort of time, you know what most people are thinking? I gotta go to work tomorrow. Most people get Sunday night depression because most people do not look forward to a Monday. You could be the answer to their prayers that they could be having right now because they're looking for a way out. So give them a call, invite them, line up your calendar for the week. Just spend the next half an hour and you can literally book a bunch of appointments over the next few days to kickstart your week and, more importantly, kickstart your business. Thank you for joining, guys. This recording will also be posted on YouTube. See you in Montenegro.